Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Natalia Leigh. I'm an indie author and freelance editor, and the end of the year is fast approaching. Today is Tuesday, December 22nd, so we have just a little bit over a week now until January arrives and 2021 arrives. So I thought today I would share my goals for the new year. I absolutely love doing goals videos. I look forward to them every single year because it's, I think, such an exciting and inspiring way to prepare myself for the upcoming year. And setting goals for myself just helps me stay kind of on track every year, except for 2020. I'm not sure if anybody stayed on track in 2020, but here's to hoping that next year is not here's to hoping that next year is a little bit easier on all of us. So today I have some writing goals, business goals, which will have to do with my YouTube business and more specifically Enchanted Ink Publishing, and then also lifestyle goals. Greg made me another cup of coffee before he left. Got a panda mug today. This chair is so squeaky. It needs to be oiled or something. So let's go ahead and start with writing goals because I think that's why most of you are here. And this year was weird for me in terms of writing. I did put up a video last week. I will link it down below about how writing went for me in 2020 and my writing plan kind of for 2021. But I just want to go back over this. So my first goal for 2021 is to publish Whiskey City. I'm on the third draft. And this year I completely re-outlined it, so it has a pretty strong outline. I spent a lot of time outlining book 2, and I think one of the reasons it took so long to outline and it was rather difficult for me to outline is because it's the first time I'm writing a series. It's the first time I'm writing a sequel. I have always wanted to write a series, but I have never been able to bring myself to do it. So I want to publish Whiskey City next year. My hope is to publish Whiskey City by June because Pistol Daisy came out June 9th, if I'm remembering correctly. It came out June 9th, and I don't want to go, more than a year between book releases. I know here on AuthorTube and in self-publishing especially, there's definitely a push, and I can understand the push. It seems like a pretty good business model if you can pull it off. There's a push to publish a lot of books very quickly, and maybe if writing is your full-time job, or if you're just a wizard and can write really good books and publish them quickly, then that'll work for you. But I've learned that especially with other things going on in my life, with Enchanted Ink Publishing stuff and just trying to find more of a balance in my life, that publishing lots of books really fast doesn't seem to work for me, at least right now. Maybe, when I write 10 more books, I will get much better at outlining and I'll get better at just writing quickly, and then maybe I'll be able to publish multiple books a year. But at this point, I feel that one book a year is really good for me. So it's my hope, fingers crossed, to publish Whiskey City by June. And then the second writing goal is to write the first draft of book 3. I have no idea what book 3 is about. I have kind of an idea of where book 3 starts, because I also have an idea of where book 2 ends, and I know kind of the situation, unless it changes, it could always change. I know the situation Daisy is going to find herself in the end of book 2, which naturally leads into book 3, but I have no idea what her journey will be in book 3. So it's a total mystery to me. It'd be really cool to write, and this all depends on when I get around to publishing Whiskey City and when I finish Whiskey City, but depending on the time of year, it'd be really nice to work on book 3 for NaNoWriMo because I didn't get to participate in NaNoWriMo this year, and NaNoWriMo is my favorite time of year. So, unfortunately I missed out on it, and I really want to participate next year. So it'd be pretty cool to write the first draft of book 3 next year. And then the last writing goal, it's not really a writing goal, but it's within the same realm, is to get the book 3 cover designed. So book 1, of course, is already out. You can see it here. I already have the cover for Whiskey City. I absolutely adore it. I love it so much. I have not revealed it anywhere. I don't think I have showed it to anybody except Greg and my mom. So I do have the Whiskey City cover done. They just need to do the spine. And of course you can't do the spine of a book cover until the book is done and formatted, because the page count affects how big that spine has to be. And then my cover designer has to do the back cover as well. But the front cover is done. I absolutely love it. And I want to get the book 3 cover designed next year. I feel like I kind of have this fear for some reason that my cover designer is going to like cease to exist. That happened with 8 Little Pages this year, and I used 8 Little Pages for Song of the Dryad. I'm using more books for Pistol Daisy, but I know that 8 Little Pages just kind of vanished, and it left a lot of people kind of like confused and wondering, well, where, you know, what about my books? Where am I going to get my covers designed now? So I am even considering getting 2 book covers done, book 3 and book 4. And the reason I think I could do that is because, of course, I'll have to come up with titles, but I don't really use scenes from the book as the book cover. That when I was first getting started in writing and publishing, I thought, oh, I have to use like a scene from the book on the book cover, but readers aren't going to know what that scene is, and oftentimes I feel like that can get really messy and busy on a cover, depending on what type of scene you're choosing. So personally, I just like enjoyable covers that look good and that look kind of exciting. So I don't need my covers designed specifically to an exact scene or anything. So I do feel that I would be able to get 2 more covers in 2021 so that I at least feel like, okay, if the worst is to happen and for some reason my cover designer vanishes or the business goes down, which I don't think that's going to happen. They have a really hopping business. They're doing really well for themselves. At least I would have the front covers, because that is the most important thing. Like, I could put together a back cover and a spine if I needed to, but I need the front covers. So, and getting the book 3 cover, that was something that I was actually thinking about doing earlier this year, and I just didn't get around to it because I guess my mind was other places. So get book 3 cover designed and book 4 cover. That's so exciting. I love covers. All right, so that is, those are my 3 goals for writing. Now let's move into my business goals. Okay, so my first business goal, and again, some of these have to do with YouTube, some of these have to do with Enchanted Ink Publishing. My first goal is to bring a cover designer onto the EIP team, and this is actually already in motion. Greg and I reached out to a cover designer whose work we really, really love, and we are kind of in conversation with her now about potentially bringing her on as a cover designer. We do really love her work. We are chatting with her about it right now, so fingers crossed that we could have a cover designer early on in 2021. We get a lot of requests for book covers, and Greg has made a few, but he is getting so busy with formatting right now that it's just not doable for him to also learn more cover design skills and to be able to offer that. That's just not the right thing for him to be doing. It's not the right thing for our business. So we want to bring somebody on who is a professional in this field, and we're already talking to somebody. So that is very, very exciting. My next goal is to hit 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. I am sitting at almost 16,000. So I'm hoping that this is kind of like an underwhelming goal, and I hope that I can actually get way more subscribers than this, or even a few more subscribers, whatever. It feels like, I would have to look up my YouTube analytics. It feels like I usually get, let's look it up real quick, hang on. So I just looked it up, and in 2019, I got 3.6 thousand subscribers. And so far in 2020, I've gone up 5.4 thousand subscribers. So hopefully my channel can continue kind of on that path. So I'm hoping that if I go off of that and assume that my subscriber count is going to be greater than 5.4 thousand in 2021, then I really could be hoping for like to hit 22, 23, 24,000, somewhere around there. But 20,000 is a nice number. That's, you know, a fifth of the way to 100,000. I think that's a great number to aim for. So that's going to be my kind of YouTube goal in terms of subscribers, is going to be to hit 20,000 next year. The next thing for EIP is to potentially bring on an assistant or an intern. I have realized that when I first started Enchanted Ink Publishing and the editing business was, you know, starting to take off, I could maintain like the admin side of things very well. And I'm still maintaining that, but the demand in terms of administrative work has gotten much higher. There's way more of a demand on me in terms of getting back to emails. And that's something that I'm kind of hard on myself about, because especially toward the end of this year, like the last quarter, I was really struggling with email correspondence because I would, need to really be focused on an editing project during the day, and then I would receive a lot of emails and I wouldn't get to them. Then the next day would roll around and I would still need to be really focused on all of my editing, and then I would still not get to the emails. And it got to a really bad point. There was like one point where I had almost 50 emails in the inbox, and that's really bad for a business. My personal inbox right now, apart from EIP, probably has over like 1,000 unread messages. And I apologize if you are somebody whose email is stuck in like the pit of my personal emails. But that for me is very different from like my actual business email. Hi, Mew. Hi. Okay, I had to feed Mew or else she was gonna sit here and talk to us the whole time. So what was I saying? Yes, so emails. What I was getting at is that while I don't like to leave any emails unanswered, it doesn't bother me quite as much if they're just personal emails, because I do get like a lot of questions in my inbox that are answered on my YouTube channel, that I've answered in other places, so I don't necessarily feel the drive to respond to every single email I receive in that personal inbox. But in terms of EIP, like I have to get to those emails, and this year I struggled really hard this last quarter especially. So Greg and I have discussed potentially bringing on an assistant next year. We did have one at one point. Hi, Mew. We did have an assistant at one point, and she really helped us out with social media, posting on social media, our captions, all that kind of stuff, working on sponsorships, working with sponsors. So she was really helpful in that way, but she wasn't handling the administrative side of communicating with clients, getting clients scheduled, getting contracts signed. All of that stuff takes a lot of effort, a lot of time. I can easily spend multiple hours a day just working on emails and contracts and correspondence and stuff like that. So we're thinking about maybe, trying to bring on an assistant just to help us in terms of keeping the email inbox clean and making sure everybody receives a response. I am definitely interested in that. And then maybe even looking into bringing on an intern. I've had quite a few people reach out to me and ask about internships with EIP, and this is something that I would love to be able to offer, but I don't know what that entails. I don't know if there's a certain program that I have to go through to be able to offer, internships, especially if students are looking for internships through their high school or through their, college, university. I don't know anything about that, but I would really like to look into it and learn a little bit more, because I think it would be a really beautiful thing to be able to offer an internship to somebody who wants to be in the publishing world, someone who wants to be an editor, somebody who wants to be an agent, like whatever it is that this person wants to do. It'd be fun to be able to offer that internship opportunity. So that's something that I would just like to look into in 2021. And then back to YouTube, I want to reestablish more of an upload schedule and get invested again. Earlier this year, before Greg and I moved into this apartment, I was really feeling good about YouTube. I was making a lot of content. I was really excited about the content I was making, having a wonderful time, and I always have a good time filming, editing, and uploading videos. I love it. I really do. That's why I continue doing this, because it's just so joyful for me. But after we moved into this apartment, of course, life changes and things change, and for some reason, I think I know the reason, Mew is just driving me crazy right now. She's like walking all over me. Honey, you're scratching my legs. Ow. Oh, I love when she sits with me, but she just digs her claws right into my thighs, and then my thighs have like all these scratch marks on them all the time. So when Greg and I moved into this apartment, end of June, a lot of things changed, which is to be expected of, a move or of life in general. And I drifted a little bit from YouTube. So even looking back on my content, like I can see that there hasn't been as much of it. I can also see that, I've been doing a lot of vlogs lately, and I love vlogs. Vlogs are my favorite content to watch, and I also love producing vlogs and chatty videos. So that's to be expected, but also, you know, I can see that in terms of videos that require preparation and sit down and making sure that I'm giving you guys the best information possible in terms of how to write, how to edit, how to market, how to sell your books, there have been fewer of those because I don't really have the mental capacity right now to be working on those videos. And that's also why I haven't been writing, because all of my brain power is going into my client projects right now, and I love it. I am editing some wonderful books at the moment, really, really enjoying them. It's like a dream job, but it also exhausts my brain, you know. And when I was doing a lot of pet sitting, my brain was never exhausted. My body got tired because I was walking dogs a lot and I was out a lot, but my brain was always active and like wondering about my books and thinking about new plot points and stuff. And nowadays, my brain is so tired by the end of the day that there's not really the capability to be thinking about my own books. There's not much of a capability to be really diving into content for you guys. And I do have some, you know, good videos, really strong, you know, I think they're really strong videos. Since I've moved into this apartment about editing, you know, I have tips about dialogue, tips about how to write numbers, you know, the difference between copy editing and proofreading. And those are all great videos and I'm proud of them, but there's not a lot of them because my brain is tired, my friends. My brain is just tired. So next year, my calendars are over there. I booked myself a little bit lighter. I am still going to be editing full time, but I booked fewer clients for myself at any given time so that I can, you know, work my 8-hour day, you know, on editing in the business, but then also take weekends off and be able to refocus on YouTube, be able to establish more of an upload routine. And that kind of takes us into lifestyle goals. And the first thing of my lifestyle goals is to maintain more of a work-life balance. Because of how many clients I scheduled for myself this year, my work-life balance is like work way up here and then like life is way down here. And thankfully, I really enjoy the work I do. I love the work I do. So there's definitely a feeling of being very grateful for what I get to do. The fact that I just get to work from home, drinking coffee and hanging out with Mew is a dream job for me. But of course, everybody enjoys taking a vacation. Everybody enjoys having weekends off. So I need to get back into that. And again, I do have, you know, plans for that. It's on the calendar. I started scheduling fewer clients, so I will be able to get back into writing, get back into creating more YouTube content, and just finding a healthy balance after this year of overbooking myself, essentially. Okay, so there's that. The next lifestyle goal is to get another tattoo. I love tattoos. I have quite a few of them at this point. I'm not really sure how many. This year I got, now this tattoo, oh my gosh. I don't know if I've even talked about my tattoos in a video. I got a tattoo on my ear and a little one here on the side of my face, and they are incredibly faded. So, and my tattoo artist did tell me that this area, you know, the face, the ears, they do have a tendency to fade a little bit. Fingers will fade really bad. So, I don't even know if you can see it because it's so faded. I do have a tattoo here on my ear and then here on the side of my face. I don't know if you guys can even see that. So I did get that tattoo this year, and then I got this tattoo as well. Again, not sure how well you can see that. It's a beautiful stack of books. It's like a magical stack of books with a coffee cup on either end and like leaves and stars floating around. I absolutely love this tattoo. It's my first like bookish tattoo that I've received. So I did get a couple new tattoos this year, but I love tattoos. And Greg is getting his first tattoo next year, and it's going to be a big one. And I'm already feeling jealous because he has it scheduled, and really good tattoo artists book out quite far in advance, months and months and months in advance. So I want to go ahead and like get on the schedule for another tattoo and start deciding what I want, because I definitely want a tattoo next year. Here's another one. I want to learn more about Colorado. And this also goes with, let's just combine these two goals. So learn more about Colorado and finish the van and start traveling. I mentioned in a previous video, Greg and I might even do full-time van life for a few months, you know, potentially like April through August, just depending on how life goes. life is crazy. So learn more about Colorado. And when I say that, I mean that I want to learn more about the animals that call Colorado home, the plants, the mountains, the history. Like, I really want to just learn more about this place where I have lived my entire life. And part of this was kind of inspired by writing Pistol Daisy, because Pistol Daisy takes place in Colorado in the early 1880s. It starts out in 1880. And in order to write that book as authentically as possible, I had to do a lot of research on what not only the Wild West was like back then, but what Colorado specifically was like in 1880. And it was really exciting because I've learned things that other people don't know, like that Colorado natives don't know about. And it was really fun learning history of Colorado and kind of how it developed, how it came to be. So I've just learned so much about Colorado, you know, through writing Pistol Daisy and Whiskey City, really enjoyable. And I want to learn more. I want to be able to go on a hike and look at a tree and say, this is the type of tree that I'm looking at, or look at a plant and say, you know, I know exactly what type of plant that is, and I know what kind of animals eat that plant, etc. I'm just interested in reconnecting with nature, especially nature in Colorado, because it's where I have spent my entire life. I love it here, especially when you get out of Denver and kind of into the mountains or even into the plains. There's just so much to be enjoyed and learned about in Colorado, and I really want to do that. And then, of course, you know, traveling in the van. Greg and I want to do as much traveling in the new year as we can. We'll see kind of how that turns out. But even just traveling around Colorado. And of course, I've camped a lot in my life and traveled a little bit. I love being out hiking and stuff, but usually, you know, we will camp in the same places or hike in the same places because we love those trails. And there's not a whole lot of discovery going on. So I just want to discover Colorado more, learn more about it, and be out in the van, in nature, breathing the fresh air, walking on trails that Daisy might have walked when she was around here. And that, you know, that's the other thing that's exciting about it. Like, nowadays when I go up into the mountains, or when I go through, you know, when I'm hiking or going through towns that existed back when Daisy was around, I think of her and I think, you know, what did this place look like when Daisy came through here? You know, what did the food taste like? What was the weather like? What did it feel like to be riding a horse in a blizzard trying to get to the closest town, or whatever it was? Like, I love allowing my mind to just wander when I'm out in the Colorado wilderness and thinking of Daisy. And I think that'll really help me write her books more authentically too, because when I sit in an apartment all day, it feels very detached from Daisy. Daisy is very close to the earth, very close to nature and everything that the world has to offer. And we, most of us, as, you know, a culture and society, have become very detached from that. So the fact that I'm, you know, trying to write this book, writing these books about a woman and a group of people who lived rugged, and they lived on the road, and they lived, you know, they felt the rain on their faces, and they walked in the dust and the mud and the dirt. Like, I love that. I love that. And I want to get closer to that so that I can feel closer to Daisy and tell her story in a more authentic way. So those are my goals for 2021. I'm sure this was another long-winded video. I just love sitting down and chatting to you guys. I will be out with another video next week. I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday. And I think that's all I have for you today. All right, thank you again so much for watching. Thank you for being here and spending another year with me here on YouTube in our little AuthorTube world. I really appreciate you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.
Here you are, face to face in this trashy bar.